In this lecture, I will be doing a discussion on the following four topics. Firstly, there will be a discussion on the basic principles of signal reproduction, which will be followed by my briefing on the selectivity and sensitivity, and in the last I will be doing discussion on the super heterodyne receivers. So we can start the first topic, which is the basic principles of signal reproduction. Usually in radio communication, a signal is being transmitted by the transmitter in the wireless area and it is being received by a receiver. So when the signal is transmitted from the transmitter, in the wireless area we have a signal which is called noise, and its objective is to attenuate and distort the information signal and making it weaker and weaker so that when it is being received by the receiver, it is so much weak that the receiver will not be able to recover it. So what is being done at the receiver side? There are two things which are being done on the receiver side. One is the sensitivity and other is the selectivity. These two terminologies are being done on the receiver side and that permit full recovery of the original signal on the receiver side. The radio receiver which is best suited for this task is called the super heterodyne receiver, which we will be discussing in the last topic of this lecture. So what is this selectivity and sensitivity? Selectivity is that it is the ability of the communication receiver to identify and select a desired signal from many different signals which are present in the environment in the electromagnetic spectrum. While sensitivity is the receiver ability to recover the modulating signal from the information provided to it, and its basic definition is to provide sufficient amplification to recover the modulating signal. So a receiver with a good selectivity will isolate the desired signal and greatly attenuate other signals, while a receiver with a good sensitivity involves high circuit gain and it provides sufficient amplification so that the modulating signal can be recovered easily on the side of the receiver and it is being fed to the receiver transducer for monitoring or hearing purposes. So now we will be discussing the selectivity, which is dependent upon Q and bandwidth. Now what is Q? Q is basically dependent upon the circuit and the circuit elements like the capacitor and the inductor, which the value of which defines the Q point of the circuit. So we can read it out. Selectivity in a receiver is obtained by using a tuned circuit, and LC tuned circuits provide initial selectivity while the filters provide the additional selectivity, and by controlling the Q point of a resonant circuit you can set the desired selectivity, and the optimum bandwidth is the one that is wide enough to pass the signal and its sidebands but narrow enough to eliminate the signals on adjacent frequencies. So selectivity is being obtained by a tuned circuit, and we have two kinds of tuned circuit. One is the LC tuned circuit, which is providing the initial selectivity, and the other is the filter circuit, which is providing the additional selectivity. And by changing and or by controlling the values of inductance and the capacitance, we are able to change the value of the Q, which is controlling our selectivity as well. And what is an optimum bandwidth? It is the one which is allowing to pass our desired signal and attenuating all the rest of the signals. Here we have a diagram which is providing a demonstration of the selectivity curve of a tuned circuit. In the y-axis we have attenuation, in the x-axis we have the frequency, and this is the magnitude of the information. And here you can see we have over here zero noise, so the signal is at its 100% amplitude, while at minus 3 dB range here the signal's amplitude is 70% of its maximum value. And from this point to this point we have the bandwidth, which is the maximum minus the minimum frequency, and the central point is the resonant frequency. And this resonant frequency, the central point, is defined by the circuit elements, which are the inductors and the capacitors. And also this value, which is the Q point, is also defined by the same values of the circuit, and the ratio of which is called bandwidth. So if you able to understand that concept in a more clearer fashion, then you can see this diagram here. You can see by increasing the value of Q, the bandwidth will be reduced, because it is from the point where the signal is at 70% of its value, might be this point from here to there. And when the Q point is more, then it is less, then the bandwidth will be more. Here the Q point is less over here and there, and here the Q point is maximum. So at the point where the Q point is maximum, the bandwidth will be minimum, and at the point where the Q point is minimum, the bandwidth will be maximum. And you can see over here the 70% points are might be here or here, and the bandwidth will be greater than the this value. So moving forward, we have another terminology which is called the shape factor, and it is basically the sides of the tuned circuit response, and the steepness of the its selectivity value is from the ratio of 60 dB point of the bandwidth to the 6 dB point down the bandwidth, and lower the shape factor, the steeper the skirts and the better the selectivity. So in order to understand this point, we have to see a diagram of the book, which is, you can see this kind of diagram. Here you can see the shape factor is basically, this is a signal. We have attenuation is expressed on the y-axis and frequency is expressed on the x-axis, and this is a signal, and this is the point where the signal is at 100% of its amplitude, and this is the point at which the signal amplitude is with reference to 6 dB attenuation. So when a signal is interacting with this attenuation, then the amplitude of the signal will be lower than the maximum amplitude. So what is shape factor? Shape factor is the ratio of 60 dB point, this is the 60 dB point bandwidth, to the 6 dB point bandwidth, and this is the shape factor. So the less the value of the shape factor, the steeper will be the skirts, and these are the skirts of the signal, left hand side and right hand side. So that is what is being told over here. Now we will be focusing on the sensitivity of the receiver, which is a function of the overall gain, and the factor by what is gain? Gain is basically a factor by which an input signal is multiplied to produce the output signal, and the higher the gain of a receiver, the better is its sensitivity. The more gain that a receiver has, the smaller the input signal necessary to produce a desired level of output, and high gain in receivers is obtained by using multiple amplification stages. So another factor of the sensitivity is the signal to noise ratio, and in order to express the sensitivity of the receiver, we can also establish this terminology, which is the minimum discernible signal, which is basically the noise floor, and it is the input signal level that is approximately equal to the average internally generated noise value. So we have multiple receivers, and in those receivers we have a minimum noise level, which is the minimum internal noise level, and that noise level is called noise floor, and a signal which is equivalent to that noise level is when generated, it is called a MDS signal. And MDS signal is the amount of the signal that would produce the same audio power output as the noise floor signal. So by in order to express the sensitivity of the receiver, we use MDS signal as a reference point. In this topic, we will be doing a discussion on the basic construction of a basic receiver. And a basic receiver is a set of is a crystal set consisting of tuned circuit, a diode, detector, and earphones. The tuned circuit provides the selectivity, the diode and a capacitor serve as an AM demodulator. The earphones reproduce the recovered signal. So that in order to understand that in a diagrammatical way, we have this figure over here. In this you can see over here we have an antenna. This is overall a receiver. The antenna is receiving some signal which can be AM, FM or PM signal, and then we have a transformer here, and then this transformer with this variable capacitor forms a tuned circuit, and it decides which kind of signal we have to receive, what should be the frequency of the signal which we have to receive. So these will define the selectivity over here, and then this signal when selected over here, it is being sent to the diode where the rectification is being done, and this capacitor along with diode acts as a demodulator, and then the recovered signal when recovered, it is being sent to the headphones for hearing purposes. So this is a simple receiver which can be a simple AM receiver, and this is its construction and operation. In tuned radio frequency receivers, selectivity is improved by adding a number of stages of RF amplification between the antenna detector, followed by stages of audio amplification. The RF amplifier stage increases the gain before it is applied to the detector. The recovered signal is amplified further by audio amplifiers, which provide sufficient gain to operate a loudspeaker. So what is he is saying over here? We can see the figure over here. This figure is a kind of tuned radio receiver circuit. You can see over here the signal is being received over here by the antenna, and then we have a series of uh, parallel tuned circuits over here, and then we have RF stage amplifiers because the signal when received from the antenna is an RF signal, and these are similar tuned circuits which are tuned at the same frequency, and these are the cascaded connections of RF amplifiers which provide the amplification of the selected tuned frequency received signal and amplify it to higher power level. And when this signal is being received at the detector side, it does the rectification, and then in order to recover the envelope of that rectified output of from the detector diode, we use these kind of parallel connections of the capacitor and the resistor, and we will be here recovering the envelope of the signal which is further amplified by the audio frequency amplifiers and before being set to the speaker. So this is the circuit of a tuned radio frequency receiver, and it is further elaborating the amplifiers which is being used over here with the tuned circuit. It is saying that many RF amplifiers use multiple tuned circuits. Whenever resonant LC circuits tuned to the same frequency are cascaded, overall selectivity is improved. The greater the number of tuned stages cascaded, the narrower the bandwidth and the steeper the skirts. The main problem with TRF receivers is tracking the tuned circuit in receiver. The tuned circuits must be made variable so they can be set to the frequency of the desired signal. Another problem with TRF receiver is that selectivity varies with the frequency. So now we are being left with the one topic, which is the super heterodyne receiver, which is the best receiver suitable for receiving a signal, and it convert all incoming signals to a lower frequency which is called as intermediate frequency, and then on that frequency the sufficient amplification is being done along with some tuned circuit to achieve the particular sensitivity and selectivity. And further it is saying that gain and selectivity are obtained in the IF amplifier stage, and the key circuit is the mixture which acts like a simple amplitude modulator to produce sum and difference frequencies. The incoming signal is mixed with the local oscillator signal. So what he is saying over there can be demonstrated in the form of diagram over here. We can see that we have an antenna over here which is receiving some modulated signal, and when this signal is received, it will be at radio frequency range. Then that radio frequency signal is being amplified by the RF amplifier, and then the output of which is being sent to the mixer circuit, which is a kind of circuit which is getting input from the local oscillator or the frequency synthesizer. A frequency synthesizer is a kind of circuit which generates some local oscillation signals, and which is particularly used to down convert some received signal from a particular frequency to some other frequency. So that is the purpose why it is being installed over here. It is basically generating local oscillations over here. These local oscillations come over here in the mixer, and the RF frequency come also over here in the mixer, and then what is being produced at the output of the mixer will be a difference frequency, because this mixer will be taking into calculations of the input frequency, which is the RF frequency, the local oscillation frequencies, and then calculating the sum differences of these frequencies and outputting only the difference frequency, which will be the intermediate frequency, and which will be less than the radio frequency. And this intermediate frequency is being fed to the intermediate amplifiers, which provide the suitable sensitivity to the received signal, and being sent to the selective filter circuit, which provides the particular selectivity to them, and again re-amplified, and then being sent to the demodulator, where the original modulating signal is being recovered, further amplified, and being sent to the speaker, or it is being fed to the AGC, which is automatic gain control circuit, which converts our AC signal into a DC signal, and this DC signal controls our automatic gain functions at the intermediate amplifier stage, or sometimes at the RF amplifier stage. So this is this figure is further explained in this literature, where in this literature the RF amplifier operations are further being explained over here, and also the mixture and local oscillator circuits involving the IF amplifiers, demodulators, and automatic gain control circuits are being explained over here. So this is all from the today's lecture. Thank you very much.